What if 2026 doesn't need a new version of you, just a reset of the one you already are? Not a glow up, not a hustle harder manifesto, not a new year, new personality situation, just a reset. Because if we're honest, most of us aren't broken. We're overloaded, overstimulated, overcommitted, carrying beliefs, habits, and emotional tabs that we forgot to close somewhere around 2017. So today, I want to talk about 5 ways to reset in 2026. Not as a productivity robot, not as a monk on a mountain, but a human being living in the real world with notifications, responsibilities, relationships, and a brain that sometimes replays embarrassing moments from 10 years ago at 2:47 a.m. Let's get started. Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast. I'm your host, Jason. And you know what you can do. You can catch us on all your favorite platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok. You can listen to all of our episodes on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and our home at Podbean. And of course, we want to hear from you folks. We know you're listening from all over the world. It's just absolutely amazing. Japan, Ecuador, France. We really appreciate you, and we'd love to hear from you. Why don't you reach out to us at catalystmotivationpodcast@gmail.com. That's catalystmotivationpodcast@gmail.com. Join the community and be part of something truly transformative. Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 128. 5 ways to reset in 2026. Okay, so let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt your day instead of racing through it? I mean, most of us treat time like an enemy. We're trying to dominate it, optimize it, squeeze it until it behaves, and yet we're still, at the end of the day, feeling behind. That's where Taoism quietly clears its throat. It teaches us that life works best when we move with the current and not against it. Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means we're not forcing what doesn't need force. In modern terms, not every minute needs to be monetized. Should I repeat that for the people in the back? Not every moment needs to be monetized. There's research showing that constantly rushing increases cortisol levels and reduces work memory. Translation: the more you hurry, the dumber and more stressed out you feel. Not a great combo. And I'm not going to lie, I learned this the hard way. I once scheduled my mornings down to the minute. I'm dead serious. Wake up, meditate, journal, work out, read, create, dominate the universe. What happened? I woke up and I was already behind. Reset isn't better time management, folks. It's time respect. So this year, in 2026, try this simple shift. Instead of asking, how much can I fit into the day? Ask, what deserves my full attention today? Confucianism reminds us that harmony begins with order, and order begins with proper attention to what matters most. Not everything, just the right things. And yes, if this already feels grounding, please like this episode. Send it to someone who needs permission to slow down. We'll wait. Not that long. We're not going to wait that long. Let's continue on. So, here's the truth nobody loves to hear. Most of us and our stress, it isn't from events. It's from relationships that we've left unmanaged. Unspoken expectations, old resentments, performing versions of ourselves that no longer fit. Confucius believed that society works when relationships are tended with care, respect, and clarity. Not perfection, responsibility. So ask yourself, where am I expecting mind reading instead of practicing honesty? Buddhism adds another layer here. It teaches that suffering often comes from detachment, especially detachment to how we think people should be. There's a study showing that unresolved interpersonal conflict is one of the strongest predictors of chronic stress and burnout. Not work overload, not money, people. And before we start mentally listing everyone else who needs a reset, let's come back to us, okay? I once avoided a hard conversation for months because I just wanted to keep the peace. I don't like conflict. Turns out I wasn't just delaying discomfort when we finally had the conversation. It wasn't explosive. It was actually relieving. The burden that it took off me was something that was unexpected. I was more concerned of the fear of talking about it and not realizing that on the other side of it is where I'd find my peace. The reset for 2026 is this: choose clean communication over comfortable silence. Say what's kind, say what's true, and say it sooner. If this really hits home with you, share this episode with somebody in your circle who needs to hear it, even if they won't admit it. Let's continue. Okay, so when it comes to discipline gets a bad reputation. We imagine cold showers, joyless routines, and someone yelling, "No excuses!" at 5 a.m. But the Stoics, they tell us something different. The Stoics weren't obsessed with control for control's sake. They were obsessed with agency, with knowing what's in your power and releasing what's not. Epictetus said that freedom comes from governing yourself, not your circumstances. Yourself, not your circumstances. The modern version of this: if you don't choose your habits, your impulses will. And the data backs this up. Roughly 40% of daily behavior is habitual, which means that nearly half of your life is on autopilot. Half of your life. So the reset isn't just becoming extreme. It's becoming intentional. So this year, don't ask, what should I add to my life? Ask, what habit quietly drains me every day? Is it the late night scrolling? Maybe it's the emotional eating or snacking. How about avoiding the hard task until they grow teeth? You can't see my hand up, but I'm raising my hand. Jainism offers a gentle but powerful counterbalance here. Its principle of non-harm applies to how we treat ourselves too. Discipline without compassion becomes self-punishment. Compassion without discipline becomes stagnation. Reset means both. It means both. And if you appreciate this balance of structure and softness, go ahead and subscribe to this podcast. This is the lane we live in. Okay, let's continue on. Let's talk about the story you tell yourself about who you are. Yeah, you know the story you tell yourself about who you are. I'm not talking about the one you post, the one that whispers when you fail. That's who I'm talking about. Indian philosophy reminds us that beneath the roles, the achievements, and the labels, there is a deeper unity. The observer behind our thoughts. The self behind every story. And yet most of us walk around dragging old identities around like expired passports. We say things like, "I'm just bad with money," or "I'm always the strong one," or "I'm too late to change." Well, neuroscience shows that the brain is remarkably plastic, well into adulthood. Translation: your past is not a prison sentence. Once I realized I was still living from an identity forged during survival mode, It kept me safe once, but it kept me smaller later and for a long, long time. The reset for 2026 is this question. Who am I allowed to become if I stop rehearsing who I used to be? Who am I allowed to become if I stop rehearsing who I used to be? Okay, we're coming into the home stretch. And this is the one that matters most. Who are we? What are we all about? A lot of people out there don't need motivation, they need direction. Buddhism teaches that meaning isn't found by clinging to outcomes, but by engaging fully with the present moment. Jainism reminds us that there are many valid paths. Stoicism grounds us in virtue. Confucianism anchors us in responsibility. Taoism invites us into flow. And Indian philosophy points to unity. Different languages, same whisper. Meaning isn't something you chase. It's something you practice. Studies show that people who identify daily actions as connected values report higher life satisfaction, even when circumstances are hard. So instead of asking, what's my purpose? Try asking, what value do I want to express today? Is it courage? Maybe it's patience, honesty, presence. Meaning grows in small, repeated acts. Okay, let's land this with something really, really practical, okay? Here's a 5-minute daily reset that you can use throughout 2026. All right, here we go. 5 minutes, very easy. I want you to pause for 60 seconds. All right, pause for 60 seconds. No phone, just breathe. You're going to ask yourself, what feels most misaligned right now? What is it? Is it school? Is it work? Is it family? Friends? Relationships? The way you see yourself? What is it? What feels most misaligned right now? Okay? Then I want you to name one value you want to lead with today. Name one value you want to lead with today. What is it? What's that value? Which one feels important to you today? Then I want you to choose one small action to express it. One small action. Doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could be something simple. Express it. And outside of that, release the rest of it. You don't need to fix everything today. And that's it. That's it. It's not reinvention. It's a reset. Because 2026 doesn't need a perfect you. All it needs is a present one. Well, folks, that's it for today. And I hope this episode resonated with you. And if it did, please share it with someone who might need it. Like and subscribe to our podcast for more motivational content. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok for even more inspiration. Thank you for joining us for episode 128 of the Catalyst Podcast. We look forward to seeing you next time for episode 129. Go be great.